Hello and welcome to the channel. I've been playing a lot of PoE 2 and D4 recently, and I've been kind of upset with their crafting systems. I come from PoE 1, where their crafting systems were very complex and diverse, and gave a lot of flexibility when it came to item crafting. And I decided to make a game centered around crafting mechanics. This is an intro to that game and the first progress vlog. The premise of the game, as we have it so far, is that you are a new shop owner in a fantasy world. Adventurers come in and ask for new weapons or armor, and you must craft it for them. How well you do will affect your reputation and your profits. As you progress, you unlock new techniques and craft more and more powerful gear until you become the shop for the best gear in all the land. Currently, the working title is Equipment Crafting Simulators, but we've had other ideas for the titles, such as Blacksmith Tycoon, Crafting Tycoon, Equipped Tycoon, and Equipment Tycoon, mostly centering around the word tycoon. The class architecture for adventurers that would come in would be 4 different classes. You'd have melee and ranged, both of which don't really use magic and which oppose each other, melee and ranged, obviously. And then you would have 2 magic casters. You'd have Holy and Shadow, with the idea being that Shadow would be more of a damagey type of magical class, and Holy would be more of a healing type class. That is something that's been missing from all these ARPGs, the healing class, and I think it should be included. Everyone can do elemental damage to damage enemies, and that's sort of the sublying architecture in the fantasy world that we imagined. Let's go to the game as it is so far. It's just this screen. It's just a UI for the moment. Eventually, there will likely be a shop that you can walk around and manage yourself and move things around. We'll see. We want to keep the scope fairly limited so that we can actually complete this and release it. Here on the left side in the first column, you have the basic crafting tools. A lot of it is Path of Exile inspired, so we have orbs for everything, and the idea is you apply an orb and it does a specific change. You have your removal orbs. You have orbs that add an affix in some way. You have orbs that change the rarity of the item. We're going with a 3 rarity item system where you have normal items that have no affixes, magic items that have 2 affixes, and rare items that have up to 6. This is very much like Poe. You will not have legendaries or uniques rather, because those are not craftable. So it kind of goes out of the scope of this kind of a game. These upgrade orbs are orbs that will change the rarity, upgrading the rarity, and the reforge orbs are orbs that will re-roll the affixes on the item, and these are alterations and chaos orbs in Path of Exile. I decided to rename everything because there's no need to stick with the PoE naming. It's my own game, so why not? In the middle, we have a item representation. Items will have implicits and chance, possibly the concept of corruptions. I'm not sure about that yet, but they'll have prefixes and suffixes, very similar to a lot of these games. And on the right, you have your list of affixes that are available. This is just a small testing sample to start to build out the systems. We've got some health, we've got damage, and we've got resistances. I believe the resistances are classified as suffixes, and these are all prefixes for the moment. But this is all subject to change once we hammer out what actually the affixes will be. There'll be some tagging systems for prefixes and suffixes. But the idea is, if you've ever played Path of Exile 1 and you've used Craft of Exile, the website, this is kind of like the Craft of Exile website, except it's dynamic to the item that's currently being viewed, and it will tell you immediately what you can apply and not apply to the item, so that you know how you can improve it or try to improve it for your customer. If we click the new item, it will generate some new items. There's no artwork for it yet. That will come very shortly. And it will do a random item with a random item level and a random type and a random rarity. And then if it's a rarity that's magic or rare, it will roll how many affixes it has and will give a random range. So if we try to get here a low item, this is a item level 10, and then we click on some of these, we can see that the tiers 2 and 1, which are item level 24 plus, 12 plus, they don't show up as being available. This field is completely searchable, and you can see very nicely you don't have to hold alt. All the information's there, like, okay, health rolls between 5 and 15 at tier 3. Perfect. You have these orbs that you can apply, making that item white. We can make it rare again. We can remove one affix without changing the rarity here. We can add, these are your exalted orbs, empowering orbs. You can flux them to change reroll everything basically on the item. We have reshaping, so if we go purification and then make it a magic item, reshaping will do the same thing but for magic items. And enlightenment will take it up to a rare. Morphing, we saw it takes it to a magic. Aurum orb takes it directly to rare. And enlighten takes it from magic to rare. And that's the systems we have so far. We've also set up a localization system, so all these texts are being translated from a key into English. We will support multiple languages. There are no other languages in the game yet, but the system is there, which is great. The crafting system is all set up. These are quite easy to expand on at the moment. What we need next is some artwork, and we need to flesh out the affixes that can exist for all items, and we need to figure out the progression for the crafting tools. We'll also set up a small tutorial at the very start, and ideally a shop space that you can actually move things around and customize the layout. Perhaps we have individual actual workstations. This screen could be a workstation where you actually do your work. Maybe there's an inventory room of some kind, then you need to manage the amount of equipment and gear that you keep on hand and make sure that you don't overstock your store, because then if customers can't walk in and can't browse your store and it's too stuffy, they might just leave and you lose reputation. There's all sorts of ideas that we have for this game, but I just wanted to give a quick introduction to the idea and the direction we'll be going with. If you enjoy the concept behind the game and you would like to see it being developed live on stream, or would like to guide it in some way, I will be streaming its development 3 days a week, on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv. I'll put a link in the description. Feel free to come join and talk, and we'll see you there. Also, if you have a vote on the name, like I said, the current working title is Equipment Crafting Simulator, but feel free to add a name suggestion in the comments and we'll take a look, and we'll probably settle on a name fairly quickly because I want to get a Steam page going for this, and I'm not sure if you can change the Steam name of the game once you've set it up. So thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.